Welcome to the Business Growth Accelerator Show. Thank you so much for joining. Our primary goal here is to help you as an entrepreneur to grow your business fast with as little resources possible. We talk about everything from smart digital marketing skills and business strategy to motivation and soft skills. Top interviews with industry leaders to inspire and give you the skills to grow your business. I'm your host, Pierre Muller. Now let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Our special guest today is Kanji Low. Kanji is a Melbourne-based entrepreneur. He's a business coach and he's a partner of Experience Online. He has helped clients launch and scale their conscious business movements, achieving their first $25,000 and beyond, allowing them to transform their lives financially, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. He says the greatest gift I offer my clients is a true and deep understanding of themselves. Kanji, we are delighted to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Pierre, and thank you to all the viewers as well for tuning in. It's a real pleasure to be here, and just full of gratitude, and I feel blessed. I'm Kanji Low, Melbourne-based entrepreneur, business coach, and mentor. And man, I wasn't always like this. In the past, I would be a completely different version of Kanji. I was in IT and working 9 to 5, doing a few side hustles here and there. And I felt unfulfilled. I felt lost. I felt I couldn't pass that ceiling. And I was there for 5 years. And during 2017, I discovered myself. I woke up one morning on a Saturday morning and had a lot of drinks the night before. Normally when you go on Friday night drinks, you have all these drinks and stuff. And during that time, it was like, oh, why did I wake up like this? And I started asking questions about myself, like, why am I here? What is my purpose in life? And I just had this click within myself because I was supposed to go to Korean class. So I did Korean language for 4 or 5 years at that time. And, through that, I woke up and I was just like, oh, okay, there's got to be more to life than, working a 9 to 5, doing a job or, working and, just paying bills. And I thought to myself, okay, there's got to be this path. There's another way. There has to be another way. So I dug into reading, went into self-development, went and listened to podcasts. My first book was Think and Grow Rich, by the way. And it was just beautiful to go through that path. And throughout that whole path, I started a lot of things. I built some websites. I did a few logo designs here and there. Sold Air Jordans, did Uber driving, did teaching. And throughout that whole stage, I couldn't get past that entrepreneurship sort of bug. Like you'd get to a certain hustle mode in entrepreneurship, but like getting that success that how everyone else is getting. And, in 2019, after I had my first taste of financial freedom from corporate lifestyle, because I was like traveling here and there. I went to Bali, I went to South Korea, I went to Gold Coast here in Australia. And through that, I just felt as though like I was caged. I felt as though that there was more that I could serve people and impact people through Kanji as the vessel and channel, and through this energy. So through that, I invested in myself, in a mentor and a coach, and he's a really close friend of mine. And through that, it was just discovering myself again and again. And eventually it led me to business coaching and mentoring and being a partner for Experience Online. So here we are.
Oh, sure. Thanks. Thanks for just sharing that story, Kanji. And I think this is such a great story of, I think, following your passion and almost listening to that inner voice and sort of really wanting to live out your passion. And I just really appreciate, I think, how you're willing to try different things, and you were doing different things, but you kept following that sort of little voice inside. So I think that's fantastic.
That's exactly it.
Tell me, I mean, I must say, from our first interaction, I think something that definitely struck me is your energy. So just tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what's the secret? I mean, what's the sort of the source of your energy? What's the secret? Please share it with us.
For me, I have a very strict routine, but it's not like a strict routine that you'd have to do it every day, like a checklist, right? Because sometimes whenever people do routines, they do it. They tick the box. They go, okay, I've done this. Okay, I feel good now. But my energy really comes from just tapping and connecting with myself and connecting with my creator. And through that, it was just finding and trying different ways. So in the past, I would meditate a lot. I would meditate, first thing in the morning. Then the next thing I would do is I would sort of look at what my future version would be. And then as well, I would also exercise or, get myself into that state where they call it in the zone or flow state or presence. But essentially just tapping into that present state every single day and allowing yourself not to be consumed by your thoughts has been a real game changer, probably the last, I would say, 2 to 3 months now. And just sticking to a routine. And I forgot to add as well, like I do cold showers every day. I've done a cold shower for
Oh,
the
wow.
last 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, every single day, cold shower. And it's just something that challenges your mind, because sometimes your mind consumes you because of all these thoughts in the morning. I'm not sure about you, Pierre, but like when you wake up, like what would be the first thought that you would think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's typically lots of them that's sort of challenging our minds, whether it's, what to do in the
Yes.
day or the next business
Yeah.
problem or the next, so there's lots of things going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so for me, it was like I was seeing these thoughts, and through seeing these thoughts, it allowed me to see where I could just observe them rather than engage with them. Because majority of self-help or self-development is that they're teaching whoever's in it, like clients and other coaches, mentors, to add on top of the thoughts, meaning you're thinking of the thoughts. When you're thinking thoughts, right? It's like you're adding positive to negative. So let's say you're programmed to have all these negative thoughts, like self-limiting beliefs, such as like fear, self-worth. It could be that you lack confidence. Anything to do with that side of things. If you're adding a positive thought to it, you're essentially fighting against yourself. And with thoughts, the best way to release thoughts is to be the witness and the observer of thoughts. So for me to have all this energy, Pierre, it's really being one with yourself and being one with life and being one with presence, and being in that present state. Because the only moment that we do have is this exact moment. The future and the past is an illusion, but when you tap into a version of yourself of the future in this current moment, magical things can happen where you'd start attracting business, you start attracting clients, you start attracting, relationships, people that you wouldn't imagine that would be on this level of consciousness as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's something I would share with the viewers, is
Mm.
to create your own disciplined routine to tap into presence.
Yeah, sure. I think that's so powerful, and I must say I can definitely resonate with that. I'm a sort of a overthinker by nature, and I also sort of grew up with a positive thinking, self-help type of mentality. So I read a lot of books on it, but it didn't really help me because I'm an overthinker already. And I think for many years, I basically tried to overthink my overthinking, and it just,
Yes.
it didn't work. And I got to a stage where I said, there must also be something different. And that's also when I experience with meditation for the first time. I mean, I don't do it nearly as as often and disciplined as you do it, but I mean, the times that I do it, it is amazing to be able to clear those thoughts. And as you say, just for a moment, just live in the moment, just be in the present, and just stop all those thoughts and be more of an observer of those thoughts instead of, I think, the one analogy is almost like cars racing by the thoughts. And if we chase after every car, it's not a great way to do it, but rather standing next to the road and observing the cars going by and observing our thoughts going by, because then we can make good decisions. Do I want to entertain this thought or emotion or not?
Yes, exactly. That's beautiful. And I love that analogy about the car as well. One analogy I normally share with my clients is like the horse analogy. Like you'd ride on this horse to go to this station or go somewhere else, or this farm. It's exactly the same. But when you can observe the horse or the car and see the car for what it really is, you don't have to attend to it if you don't feel like it,
Yeah.
right? You can choose not to, which is beautiful.
Yeah, sure. That's great, man. I don't think I'm going to take you up on the cold shower idea. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for that one yet, but I think I love the other ideas. So
Yes, yes.
that's great. Now, I think it probably touched on it, and maybe it's a lot similar, but I've heard you talk about, for leaders being conscious, to be a conscious leader, and to grow
Yes.
more to be a conscious leader? I mean, just maybe it's
Mm,
very similar to what you said already, but just maybe unpack that for us. What does it mean to be a
mm,
conscious leader, or to grow to be more of a conscious leader?
mm. That's a very beautiful question. Thank you for asking. With consciousness, right? Being conscious is being aware. So, as a conscious leader, I would say it's really pivotal to have that conscious awareness of you being a leader. Like, how are you positively impacting the people through you as this vessel and channel to channel your energy to people? How is it that you're serving people? How is it that you're impacting people? Like, even if it's just someone in front of you at the cafe, maybe the waitress, or someone at the till, or maybe at the train station, or the guy next to you in the car, right? Whoever it may be, it's who are you being of service to? And being a conscious leader can benefit your business. It can benefit the people that are around you, because now you're conscious of everyone around you, so you can also lift up everyone else's consciousness. And that's essentially what it is to the core. But it's all about awareness at the end of the day. If you're aware about yourself and you can commit to yourself to spend that time to be of service to you, to be that best version and truest version of you, you can serve others in that capacity as well, because you're conscious of what it is they need to level up their consciousness. You know what they need to also feel as though that they're having that positive impact. And it's not about just you being the leader and them being the people that will also lead as well. It's like you're flowing on that effect where everyone becomes a leader. So you being the leader by example and being a conscious leader then goes to the next person, and then that flows on as a network effect to others. And then you create all these conscious leaders that start impacting the world in their own unique way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I like the way, I mean, you're almost saying it starts with us, and it means it's being conscious first of ourselves so that we can lead ourselves. And as you say, as we go through our day, we can choose to serve people, and we can make good decisions
Mm.
how we want to live our life. And that will then flow out. If we need to lead a bigger team or a bigger organization, that'll sort of,
Yes.
lead, flow from there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you just watch how amazing things happen when you spend that time to be of service to you and then serving others as well.
Yeah.
Because so many business people that are out there, leaders that are out there, they don't spend that time for themselves. They don't commit to that presence and that state or that energy. So when they go into like meetings or having conversations, it's not impactful. And it's not about the impact, right? It's more about how is it that I could be of service to the person that's in front of me, who it is that I can serve in this moment. Like right now, we're serving each other, but at the same time, we're serving your viewers, and then your viewers will also gain insights from this to serve other people through that. So it just flows on, just like we both just said just then.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. And maybe another question that might also be a little bit similar, but maybe you have a a bit of a different view on it. You like to help people to know themselves better and to know themselves on a deeper level. I mean, is it sort of the same type of journey, or what does that mean to you to help people to know
Mm,
themselves at a deeper level? And what does that process look like, to get to know
mm.
ourselves better?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking. There are two different ways, right? There's knowing about yourself, right? And then there's knowing yourself. When you know about yourself, it's like, oh, okay, I'm Kanji Lo. I'm a business coach. I'm a mentor. I help serve clients and I help people that are around me. So I know about me, right? But knowing myself to the core, it's really tapping into what makes me tick, what makes Kanji tick, like who's beyond Kanji. Like Kanji is, this vessel and channel, right? But there's something behind Kanji. There's the observer of Kanji, and it's like to tap into that spirit, right? And we're all spiritual beings having a human body experience. To tap in that to that spirit, it's a process where you allow yourself to do that first. And the whole process of tapping to that truest and best version of you. So many times throughout your life, right? And this to the viewers as well. It's like you go through life and you're young, right? You're a baby. You don't have anything about the world. You're just pure energy. You're pure. You're a baby. You just come into this world. And then during the constructs that we go through, maybe it's school, maybe it's university, maybe it's with parents, family, friends. You start building all these layers that aren't you, and through that, it's you're building on top of this shell that you have, and when you get to these shells, it's like it's who you think you are, and then you start knowing about yourself. But then eventually, you get to a point where you've done a lot of self development. You're trying to hit the next ceiling, and eventually, you get to this point where you've learned things, and then you've mastered it. But then now you have to unlearn everything again, and just stripping all those layers, and then you find out who you really are. So, for example, for me, throughout my life, I had to go through the system, the 9 to 5, starting businesses here and there to learn certain things, to master different skill sets, to unlearn everything again, to come back to spirituality and tying that with business and helping other entrepreneurs and business owners become conscious leaders through their own movements. So it's just the whole thing with the Bruce Lee quote. It's like you learn the form to master the form, to unlearn the form, to have no form. Because when you're nothing, you're everything, or you could be everything.
Hmm. That's deep stuff, man. I appreciate that. And I mean, it's and you talked about sort of your daily ritual. So is that sort of part of what you do every
Mm.
morning? I mean, you talked about meditation, which
Yes.
I guess is sort of clearing
Mm.
your mind, and then there's the future version of yourself. Is that sort of part of that process
Yes.
for you to do that?
Yes. Yeah, that is part of the process for myself and what I teach to my clients as well. Um, Everyone needs a routine. Like most billionaires, successful entrepreneurs, they all have a routine. They stick to a routine that works for them. Because like some people would love the cold shower, but other people might love jogging or running
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Or if someone does a meditation, maybe the meditation is not as impactful, but they could do some stillness work where they sit there and observe their thoughts instead without the noise, or they do guided meditations instead of still meditations. There's so many different ways to tweak the routine,
Mm,
but it really comes down to understanding a north star for you, which is that self future, or the future self version of you, and just creating like an avatar for yourself. And that's my north star. I have my own avatar, and I write this down. I'll read it every morning to remind myself where I'm going and where my trajectory is. And it's the same with my clients as well.
mm. I like that. I'm obviously in the marketing game, and we talk about
Mm.
figuring out our clients' avatars
Yes.
so often. But I mean, how much time do we actually spend firstly figuring out our own avatar, and then just really thinking
Yes.
about that every day to sort of imprint that in our minds, eh?
Mm. Yes, that's exactly it.
That's great, huh? And Kanji, let's talk about again just mindset and sort of hopeful
Mm.
optimism mindset, for a
Mm.
moment, and sort of what helps with that, or what helps to cultivate it. I think obviously for entrepreneurs, they
Mm.
can often feel lonely. There might be setbacks. I mean, there
Mm.
might be big things like COVID we experience. I mean, and maybe again, it's some of the same principles you talked about already. But I mean, what's just your thoughts on that in terms of uh, building a healthy, optimistic, hopeful mindset and then
Mm.
maintaining that?
Yeah, it really comes down to understanding what is, right? Because we, like I just said before with the shell, we all have these beliefs, these limiting beliefs, whether it's fear, fear of judgment, fear of success, fear of failure, or self-worth or lack of confidence, right? And all these self-limiting beliefs changes your perception. So imagine this, right? We all have some glasses, like these invisible glasses that we're all wearing. We move through our world, and we move through our business, we move through our relationships through these lenses. In order for you to really tap into that mindset, right, is to understand where your perception is at the moment. That's awareness, right? Just really stepping back from what you believe things are to what really is. So, for example, a coin, right? So a coin has heads and tails, and you can see the coin. You could look at it from a heads perspective and say, oh yeah, heads. Okay, that's a good thing, right? And that's mindset. It's good mindset. It's growth mindset, right? You can look at it from the tail side of things, which is negative, and That's like a fixed mindset. But when you look at mindset as a whole, right, there is no good and bad really. It's just seeing what is. And when you have that perspective, you're objective to different areas in your life, and then you start realizing that not everything is what you perceive it to be, but what is, right? So for example, with let's put COVID for example, because like some people made a lot of money in COVID and some people didn't. Some people going through a lot, and which is totally understandable, and absolutely they have every right to feel that way. But there's other people on the other spectrum that did super successful. The people that did the hand sanitizers and things like that, right? So there's always two sides of the coin, and that's the paradox of where we live in, and that's the mindset. Like I feel that's mindset for me is to see things as a whole rather than seeing things as good or bad. And for entrepreneurs to really understand both sides so that they can be objective and be conscious of what they can choose. They can either choose this side where they feel negative and fixed, or they can choose the other side, which is growth. But that's the law of polarity. Both of them both exist.
That's great. Yeah, yeah, and I reckon it's all about perspective, hey? Because I mean,
Yes.
life will always throw situations at us and curveballs, and often it's only the way that we view them that's really labeling it as good or
Yes.
positive, or it's bad. So
Yes.
if I label it in my mind as bad, then I feel bad emotionally, and if I label it as good, then I feel optimistic about it. But as you say, it's maybe just looking at everything, just it is situations that comes
Yeah.
our way, it is, and how can I adjust to it? As you said, maybe there's even opportunity in that, and not sort of sit down and maybe wallow about the situation, and we miss a great opportunity that's right in front of us.
Yeah, and just to add on that as well, Pierre, is like the Chinese word crisis, actually, if you split it up, it's opportunity as well. So
Oh
like
wow.
in that word itself, there's both aspects to it. And that's the beautiful thing of seeing things objectively, because now it's like, oh wow, okay, I don't have to choose this way of thinking, I can choose the other way. Because when you change your perception is when you change reality, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I love that. I've never heard that. So just say that again. So the word crisis, so does it have sort of some
Yeah.
element of the unforeseen and unexpected, but also, what's the opportunity in that? Is that sort of, fair?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Oh
Yeah. I
wow.
don't know how to pronounce the character in Chinese.
Yeah,
I have to redo that again or
yeah,
relearn that.
yeah.
But the character itself, crisis, also is opportunity as well. There's an element of, because like in Chinese, there's like one character, you can split it up. There's different ways you can split up the character into another word. But both exist in the same character.
Oh wow, that's very very cool. I've never heard that. That's very nice. Thanks
Mm,
for that. Now, can't you just tell us a little bit about experience online? I mean, it's a very interesting concept, and we'll
yeah.
definitely put it in the show notes. But just tell us a little bit more about that, how it
Mm.
works, and what you guys do there.
Yep. So experience online is the future of self-development. So currently, yeah, you're on mute. Yep. Yep. So, so
No, no worries.
copy.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So experience online is the future of self-development, and through really just understanding the formula that we've created, we've created this app, and this app will be, having all these different routines in there, like meditation, visualization, just being in this gamified state where you can earn points through doing certain exercises. So meditation, you get points for it. Visualization, you get points for it. Exercise, you get points for it. Journaling, you get points for it. And the more that you do to self-develop yourself and go within and just watch your mindset and everything like that with your energy, right? You earn these coins, and we're tying that to cryptocurrency as well, which is the newest trend. And yeah, at the moment we are going through our initial funding, and we're going to start a crowdfunding campaign very soon to allow early adopters to adopt the app very soon as well. So I'm really excited because this is the start, right? And from experience online, it's not just an app and you go in for the experience, but there's like a whole community as well that's behind it. Anyone that's in the coaching space can also leverage it as well to help others. And there's other pathways through Experience Online. With me working with my business partners as well, with Shen, Scott, and Geishan, to really bring this out for the rest of the world, and make self-development fun. Because we all talk about self-development, we all have routines and everything like that, but like when you're on a platform and you have this community behind you, it's now that you're like, you're really having fun with everyone. And you can earn as well, you can earn through cryptocurrency, and it's something that hasn't been done before. That's what I feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. Yeah, I must say, I'm looking forward to that, and I'll definitely, want to participate because, as you said, I think a lot of those things. I mean, I guess the world awards, when it comes to working and KPIs and things
Yes.
like that. But often,
Yes.
these personal development skills, it just takes, self-discipline, and sometimes it's very tough. I
Yes.
mean, to as I mentioned, something like meditation. I know how good it is, but I don't do it every day. So just
Mm.
even turning it into a game and some points. I think we love games. We love sort of trying
Yes.
to, meet some sort of a goal kind of thing. So I really
Mm.
like that. And very interesting also sort of linking it up with cryptocurrency. I mean, that's also
Mm.
obviously, strongly rising trend. So that's very
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, it's real interesting to the fact that like you can use these technologies, because normally with like routines, meditations, and being one with yourself and connected with yourself, it's more like a spiritual game. But then there's also the physical element to it, which is like technology and the fast moving pace, or Moore's law, which is like every time there's like a new year, like technology is catching up to how the human mind works. So it's just beautiful to be able to see that capability in technology to match where it is that we are as well, and combine and synergize the two.
Hmm.
And through this as well, it's like everyone can use the platform to continue growing, but then also tell others that want to grow as well and get rewarded in their own way through the cryptocurrency. And there's other technologies that are coming with it as well, like virtual reality, which are going to tie in like with coaching as well. Wearables to track your delta waves or theta waves in meditations if if you've really hit that state. So there's other things that are in the pipeline as well, but it's just beautiful start to get something out there, to
Mm.
validate it, and to really just show people what is possible. So yeah, it's a beautiful path that we're all on. Yeah.
Wow, that's very exciting. I will definitely, keep an eye on that. Kanji, I mean, if you think about, obviously our show is, we focus on helping
Mm.
entrepreneurs to grow their
Yeah.
businesses, grow themselves. And if you think
Hmm.
about that topic in terms of helping entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, what's sort of
Yes.
the biggest theme that you're currently sort of seeing in the
Mm.
marketplace? I mean, what sort of a main trend that you think or that you're seeing out there that you think
Mm.
entrepreneurs must look out for and consider in their businesses?
Mm. Yeah, beautiful question. I would give a few, if that's okay with the
Please go
viewers.
for it.
Is
Yeah.
with the newest trend of entrepreneurship, right? I think a stigma of it is that we got to do things ourselves, like self-developing yourself, building your business yourself, and doing everything yourself, right? And then it's like there's no collaboration, there's no synergy. But with entrepreneurship, I feel the trend is moving towards the synergy side, the collaboration side, and just working as a team together. Because at the end of the day, right, we want to serve and impact the world.
Yeah.
And when you serve and impact the world, it's better to be in a whole group rather than a single unit, right?
Mm.
And through synergy and exploring potential of other leaders that are out there as well, it's like you're not alone anymore. And that's where I feel the trend of entrepreneurship is going. On top of that, man, like with business, like entrepreneurship used to be that you do the 80 hours, you grind, you hustle. But I feel nowadays it's more like obtaining that presence and flow. So you don't do as many hours, even though you love what you do, you want to serve, you want to impact. You get to the stage where now it's like, okay, how do I optimize my time to serve better to my clients, to the people that they serve, to the world, and how is it that can inspire the next Elon Musk or the next Jeff
Mm.
Bezos by just flowing this energy and being the example. That's what I feel with that side of things. And then the last side of things, man, is like it's never about the money, because like you always hear these success stories, right? Like, oh, this guy's made 2 million a month, or this guy's done 1.5 this year, or, you know, every month is like 100K months, right? But it's never about the money. It's about the impact, right? Even though money is I would say a three-dimensional scale of your impact, it's not that half the time, right? There's that fine line and that balance where that money also is the impact too. Like, where are you reinvesting that, right?
Yeah.
If you have a business or a coaching business, you could keep just scaling your business up to the top, right? And as an entrepreneur, you could keep doing that. But the truest entrepreneurs, or the business people out there, always reinvest in their business. So, for example, Elon always loves to reinvest back into Tesla or to SpaceX for exploration of Mars, right? And it's the same with any business. You reinvest that back in the business because that's where your energy is, and you know, you really want to serve people through that as well.
Kanji, yeah. Thanks so much, man. We're sort of coming to the end. Is there any sort of last, thoughts or, piece of wisdom that you can leave our audience of entrepreneurs with in these times?
Yep, definitely. So what I will leave with everyone is to fall in love with the process of finding and being your true self. And what that means is being the best version of you, right? We have all these layers, these self-limiting beliefs, and you know, the perception of what other people think that we are, but we don't really tap into who we are. And who is missing out? Who is missing out when you're not your truest and best version of you? You could be 1/8 of yourself, you could be 1/4 of yourself, you could be 1/2 of yourself, but when you aren't the best version of you, who is missing out? And fall in love with just being that version of you every single day, and watch how amazing things will happen with the people that you serve. And for anyone that's out there as well, I used to be like you, where I felt maybe lost or unfulfilled, or didn't feel like I had something within my life as well to be that North Star for myself. But understand this: when you tap into that, and when you find and realize that for yourself as well, and having the right people, having the right guidance, and having the right circle around you, you realize that it's always been with you, and you just have to get yourself out of the way so that you can share this with the rest of the world.
Hmm. That's beautiful. Joe, thanks, Ken. I think what I love about it, I think as entrepreneurs we focus so often on the technical things and the marketing strategy and the skills, and I like how you talk about finding it within ourselves. But what I also like about it is sometimes it feels like lots of work. We need to change so many things within ourselves. And I almost hear you say that it's almost just finding what's been there all along, and maybe just stripping out the noise and just finding what's there,
Yes.
and then just living from that inner value system and so on.
Yes, that's it. Beautiful.
That's fantastic. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Kanji, thank you so much. Please tell our audience, you shared a little bit about, what you guys are busy with, but please just tell us audience sort of finally where can we keep an eye on what you're doing? Where can our audience look out and find you?
Yep. So you can find me on Instagram. So instagram.com/kanji.lo. Amazing projects that are coming up. So obviously Experience Online is the app that's coming up very soon. Obviously my business coaching and mentoring, and it tied with that as well as just unconventional ways using universal laws to help you gain that truest and best version of you. And at the same time, I've got a consciousness summit that's coming up very soon in late April, early May, which will help others, with their identity and helping them find their own purpose in life so that they can be that truest version of themselves. So thank you for having me, Pierre. I really am grateful to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Kanji, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for, I think, all the value and the inspiration that you delivered today. And I think for our audience, make sure to check out the URLs. We will put all of that URLs in the show notes. So please make sure to go and have a look at that. So thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and then we will see you next time. Cheers. If you want to ensure that you get free access to the entire series of content and interviews, plus more tips, tools, and tricks to grow your business, be sure to join our free Facebook group, Get More Customers, You'll find a link in the description or show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like, love button depending on which platform you use. This will really help us to get this message out to more entrepreneurs. We would also love to hear from you, so please engage with us and reply. What business are you in, or which speakers would you love to hear on the show? See you next time. Cheers.